Every landscape photography journey that we go on, I feel, has a story that is well worth being told. Whether that story is one of triumph and succeeding when you go to a location that is just stunning and you're blown away and come home with numerous photographs that you cannot wait to share, or whether on the contrast to that you go to a location where you're left feeling disheartened and just down in the dumps as you battle harsh conditions in an attempt to come home with just one image worth sharing. I don't know whether you find that sometimes when you plan a trip and you go away, there's often one location that you look forward to shooting more than any other, and quite often the day that you decide to shoot that, the weather conditions are not in your favour. That's how landscape photography goes, and that's exactly what happened to me when I headed to the East Neuk of Fife recently, and I went to a location that I could not wait to shoot, and that location was Elie Ness Lighthouse. I knew it was going to be beautiful for photographs, and it's nice to come and scout it out and see how long it takes to walk here from the campground. Well, it very quickly became apparent that vlogging in this wind was not going to work with my current camera setup. The conditions were just too harsh. We had over 40-mile-an-hour gusts of wind, and it was just too difficult. So I decided to take a walk to a nearby tower known as Ladies' Tower, which actually overlooks the lighthouse, just in an attempt to scout out the location a little bit further and come up with potential image ideas for the following morning. After all, this part of the video was all meant to be about scouting out this location, as I'd never been here before, and trying to work out the best places to come the following morning for sunrise. But it was just so windy. My camera was covered in sea spray, my glasses were covered in sea spray, and it was absolutely freezing too. So we called it a day, headed back to our accommodation, and then I woke bright and early the next morning to try and go back to this location in the hope of getting some interesting images, and in the hope that our scouting out this location in the windy weather had all been worth it. If you watched the vlog that I made yesterday morning at the windmill, you'll know that I didn't have the best of luck when it came to the sunrise. We never had that gorgeous lit up sky with all the beautiful colours, but we did have a nice golden glow post sunrise, although it was slightly too late to have the full intensity that I was after. And this morning I kind of thought, it'd be the second day of my holiday, and with the weather forecast being quite similar, I hoped that potentially this morning would be in better luck, but as it turns out we're actually in worse luck this morning. There is a massive blanket of clouds pretty much shrouding the whole of the sea. So when I got here, I decided I wanted to take a photograph of me and the lighthouse as part of my lighthouse quest around Scotland. So I wanted to get a photo of myself with this lighthouse this morning while it was still flashing at twilight, which I managed to do. Now we did get this very tiny opening in the clouds, which you probably would have seen a minute ago, which I tried to photograph with the crashing waves coming in over the rocks and this little pocket of light and orangeness on the horizon. But it was just really difficult because I noticed it quite late on, so it was a bit of a mad rush, and the photographs that I did get weren't as good as they could have been, to be fair. and now it's just started spitting rain. So unfortunately day 2 sunrise hasn't really gone to plan either, which is a bit of a shame. But as I said in yesterday's vlog, there's this idea that getting out early in the morning is never a regret. It's never a regret, and it's something that's truly, it's just a lovely way to start your day. And the thing is, if every time we got up early to do photography and we were greeted with a stunning sunrise, it would be too easy and we wouldn't have that desire and that need to do it every day. But getting up in mornings like today, where we've got a little bit of that autumn wind and autumn rain, and we've got some crashing waves and just the full forces of nature, even if I don't go home with a stunning photograph of a sunrise, it's still lovely to be out in this, to be embracing it, to be feeling it, and just to watch the waves crashing into land and just admire being out. Because it's moments like these that I suppose make life meaningful. And like I say, it's a great way to start your day. So never be disappointed if you go out for a sunrise shoot, get up early, set your alarm, and you'll never feel disappointed if you get to location and it's not what you hoped it would be, because you've been out, you've tried, and you've witnessed things and experienced things to start your day which you otherwise wouldn't have. And I'm still very lucky to have got a photograph of myself with this lighthouse, and that's another lighthouse ticked off of my lighthouse adventure. But I've enjoyed my time down in this area so much. We've still got another day and a half to go, but I've enjoyed my time down in Fife so much. There's so much to photograph here, and it's definitely somewhere that I will be coming back to. So maybe in a year or two's time, when I come back to this stunning area, I'll be able to get that photograph that I dreamed of with this lighthouse. Just got to keep my fingers crossed. You never know what the future holds. And this trip really for me, although I've been hoping to get stunning images and to photograph these iconic locations, because I've never been here before, it's been more of a scouting opportunity, just to see what would work, what's here, and just to enjoy this stunning area. And that's exactly what I've done the last 2 mornings, and there's nothing to regret about that. So hopefully you can see from that I managed to turn a negative situation into one of some positivity. The truth is that landscape photography is full of ups and downs, and we often get more downs than ups in this ballgame. Unfortunately, that's the way things go. But it's great to see that positivity at the end that morning, because deep inside I was very disheartened. I'd looked forward to going to this lighthouse for months, and being able to go there and finally have it in front of me but not have the good conditions that I wanted or had hoped for in order to photograph it. It was disheartening, but it just means, like I said, that I will have to go back. And the good thing about Scotland is it's not a particularly big country, and hopefully next year or the year after I will return, and one day I'll be able to get a photograph of that lighthouse that I can be really happy with. As always, I want to say a huge thank you for watching. If you're out doing photography, just remember that often the bad shoots are the ones that you learn the most from, and they're where you can find some positivity and learn stuff that will help you in the future. I'll hopefully see you all again next time.